We welcome you to our live recording from windy Cumbria in the ancient Celtic kingdom of Reged. I welcome you, my brothers and sisters, to this 30-minute recording dedicated to the cosmic Christ and to the divine feminine aspect of God the Supreme. I come to you with an open heart. I come to you trusting in my beloved, that they will guide me, that they will speak through me to your heart. And I thank you for inviting me into your home. And together now, let us come in love. Let us come as brothers and sisters in service to love. For God is love, and where there is love, there is light. And in that light, there is an inner knowing that we are of God, not of religion, not of fear, not of envy or jealousy, but that we are unique as a beloved of God. We come in our own vulnerability, offering our availability to the Supreme to use us in whatever way that will promote an awareness that God is love, that God is peace, that God is about justice, integrity, respect, forgiveness, all that my Franciscan core values represent. Yes, as a Catholic Christian, monastic contemplative monk, like Jesus, like Francis, I embrace all faiths. I embrace them through love because I am guided by the Spirit of God to see the Christ, the cosmic Christ, the face of God in every child of God, for they are my brother and sister. And that is not a doctrine that has been handed down to me from my church. That is a doctrine of love that's been given to my heart the moment I surrendered it to live the contemplative life in 2007. But I welcome you now, and together let us just reawaken the I Am presence within us. Let us reawaken the divine within us. Let us come to the table of love, and let us listen through our heart. Our heart is our teacher. Our heart is the gateway to our soul, the gateway to God, to a God who loves all faiths and none, to a God who's impartial, to a loving God who has only one desire, and that is to see their children live in peace, to live in harmony, and to unite as one loving family to sing the praises of God, whether it's through drumming, whistling, dancing, prayer, walking, eating, feeding the animals. Everything is a gift and is a prayer. And prayer really is a raising of one's consciousness and coming into the presence of the Supreme. For me, that is prayer. Let us reflect. Let us reflect in our hearts that on Sunday, the 30th of December, we celebrated a special feast. And Brother Rob was downstairs in the oratory where we have the Blessed Sacrament, as well as here in the office. And behind the door he found a picture, And he brought it up to me, and this is the picture. And it is the picture of the Holy Family traveling to Egypt. And there you see Mary, and you see Jesus, and they're about to leave the stable. And the picture was a reminder to my heart that the Holy Family of Nazareth has something important to say to all generations in this generation. For we have lost sense of family. We are a global village, we are a global community, but we seem to have lost our identity as a family. And I guess outside pressures, recession, the way properties are built today, they don't no longer have the spare room. But you know, the Holy Family of Nazareth 2000 years ago have an important message, and the message is simplicity as well as consistency. Being consistent in one's faith belief, being consistent in not allowing our emotions dictate how we connect with God. The Holy Family didn't rely on emotions to keep them warm, hydrated, and in tune with God. It was their down-to-earth practicality, living the simple life, honoring their heart and their faith tradition, and making the best of what was available to them. So let us trust in our heart, and let us be guided by the Spirit of God. But first, I want us just to switch off and reconnect with our heart. And I want to share with you a simple sentence, and it is from a good man, a spiritual man called Gandhi. To find oneself, he says, we must lose ourselves in the service of others. That's what the Holy Family did. That's what Jesus did. That's what Muhammad did. That's what Francis of Assisi with Claire, Bernadette of Soubirous, Little Thérèse of Lisieux, Corrie ten Boom, Sri Chimoy, Martin Luther King, Mia Baba, Paramahansa Yogananda, they all found themselves by losing themselves in the service of God, in the service of love. Is that where you are this evening or this new day? Are you in the presence of God? Have you lost yourself in the service of love so as to find yourself again? I have encountered many beautiful souls who've offered their love to be members of our community. Some are consistent, some rely mostly on their emotions. If they feel like praying to God, they will pray. If they feel like staying in bed, they'll stay in bed. Their spiritual journey is governed by their emotional life. I remember as a young novice back in Cove, County Cork in Ireland, In 1967, we had a lovely young man who joined us from Gibraltar. Yes, the Rock of Gibraltar. He was wonderful. He was funny, but he was difficult. Because he was being a Spanish guy, he was so emotional. He was into the emotions. And when he became a young novice, he took the name Martin de Porres. And I was making his habit. That was my job as a novice. I was trained to make the habits for the monks coming up to the novitiate or to professional vows. And he drove me demented. He was so finicky with the stitching, with the cuffs and the lining, and the choir mantle had to be exactly to the shape of his head and his shoulder. And I looked at him one day and I said, "You do realize, brother, that you are in service to God. You're not in service to yourself. You're not taking part in some Academy Award film in Hollywood. You don't necessarily have to be seen to be doing the will of God. The world doesn't see me cleaning the toilets for the monks at 6 o'clock in the morning, nor do they see me in the sweatshop on a Monday morning washing all their long johns by hand with carbolic soap." And he got off hoppity and huffy, and he went on one of his emotional tirades where he started screaming, and you don't understand. He was an amazing young brother, but he only lasted 6 months in the novitiate. Yes, he only lasted 6 months. He was asked to leave because he caused so much trouble. And he didn't mean to cause trouble, but he was erratic in his emotional life. He was up and down like a yo-yo. He was not consistent like the Holy Family. He wasn't consistent like Sri Chimoy, like Francis or Clare of Assisi. He was definitely not consistent like Mother Mary or any of the great monks. And you were afraid to talk with him because immediately he would go on the defense. He was a true Spanish nobleman. He had wonderful virtues. He was exceptionally devout, but he was a nightmare to live with because you walked on rice paper. You were afraid to speak lovingly in truth. And when we had our monthly chapter of faults on the first Friday, where we all knelt in community to be accused of our faults, it was not a pleasant experience. It was quite a humiliating experience, but it was good for the sin of pride, and it was very good for the ego. Poor Brother Martin de Porres, he was like a tsunami. He would scream the aftabs. How dare anybody question him? What does the Spirit of God say to your heart regarding consistency? What does the Spirit of God have to share with you today? The old day of the old year. The Spirit of God is calling every child of God to embrace this table of light and love. And though many have been called, I've seen it here in our community, many have been trained, we have supported so many, but at the end of the day, only they can surrender their heart. Some have expected us to live their life for them. Some of them have created an unholy row, wanting their own will. Some have been so stubborn that they've refused to share. Some have borrowed money from members. Some have stolen from the community. I've seen so many things in the last 6 years that would make your hair curl. And I've seen members who've literally lost the plot because they didn't get their own way. And what they turn round and tell you is that I'm a bully. Maybe I am. I would have thought I was more assertive for God, assertive for the truth and principles of God. The Father, Mother God has been consistent with you and me, and I can only speak for myself. We are asked if we surrender our heart to God and we walk the spiritual path, whether we are a monastic, a hermit, a novice, a postulant, or on just a straightforward, simple journey of God. The one thing that we are asked to be is consistent. Not to give in to our emotions. Oh, I can't be bothered today. My nails aren't done. Oh, no. I can't possibly go to chapel and pray with you because my hair is a mess. Oh, no. I can't pray with you because my habit has a crease or a tea stain. Hello, we've met them. I call them drama queens. The cosmic Christ does not want drama queens. The cosmic Christ wants men and women who have substance, like Shruti Moy, like Francis, like Claire, like little Therese of Lisieux, like Paramahanda Yogananda and Mia Baba. He wants men and women of substance. So, and when they have a hair day where nothing goes right, and it happens to me so many times each day, where things go wrong, like my computer here, I rely on it so much. Especially yesterday when I was doing my tax return for the end of January, and it just cut out. I could have screamed and had a hair day. I didn't. I thanked God for it. Because do you know what? It freed me up. It freed me up till tomorrow. And it allowed me bake some cakes for neighbours who are ill, and to try and master a chocolate cake for Mother Olivia's birthday next week because we're having a special gathering for her on Sunday for our first Teo service of the year. I want to throw a little party for her because she has been consistent. She's been very unwell, but the one thing about dear Olivia, Mother Olivia, she's a true hermit. She's a beautiful soul. She's very quiet and unassuming. And because she's those qualities, some of the members who've now left have actually accused her unfairly of being difficult. They perceived her no-nonsense spirituality, her commitment and her consistency as being difficult. What they were saying was, because she didn't always agree with their flighty ideas, she was irresponsible. Like me, the bully, because I'm being assertive. The word of God to your heart and mine should mean something more than being irresponsible. Today, the Father, Mother God with the Christ, they want ambassadors. They want people who say they're monastic to be true to their heart. And if they see something untoward, be it in religion, in the church, in their spiritual family, that they have the integrity, that they have the loyalty to their calling to speak their truth, to come into the presence of God and share lovingly with their family. But the problem today is everybody is palsy-walsy. Everybody wants to be your best friend. People today have forgotten boundaries. I have boundaries in my life with God, and God has boundaries in my relationship with Him, and I respect those boundaries, and I would never dream of manipulating them because I couldn't be bothered. So the Christ of today is a Christ who asks one thing: will you follow me? Will you be a fisher of men and women? And if you say yes, that implies that you will be consistent and committed. And not like our dear brother Martin de Porres from Gibraltar, who couldn't wait to throw himself down on the altar for the Te Deum before they put the habit on him. He almost had an epileptic seizure, throwing himself. It was all emotional. He was sweating, he was moving, he was gesticulating. His emotions were 10 on the Richter scale. And poor brother Eddie, my friend who died, age 42 of cancer, my best pal, was being received with brother Martin de Porres, and Eddie was just lay there, totally mindful. He was in the presence of God, consecrating his life to God. So the analogy given here, are you consistent? And if you are, it implies you're committed, and that you're not relying on your emotions to dictate to you your terms of reference in your relationship with God. I hope I've shared lovingly and truthfully with you. Now let us come to the Master. Let us ask Him to guide us. Let us ask Him to speak to us. And let us sit at this table and be still. For we are in the presence of God. We are in the presence of God. As we sit at this table of many blessings, we invite the cosmic Christ, who represents the Father, Mother, God Supreme, whose reflection is mirrored behind me in the flashing lights in the shape of a heart. I want you now to sit at this table and feel totally relaxed, because you are a child of God, and you are loved whether you're black or white, whether you're short or tall, whether you're male or female, whether you're a Catholic or a non-Catholic, whether you're a cross-dresser, whether you're a prostitute, a gambler, a drug addict. It doesn't matter what label you've been given. You are a child of God, and you are loved as an equal with the Christ. Stay with that. And as you sit at this table, you notice something. You see two hands crossing the table to touch your hands. And as your eyes are closed, you can feel the warmth, but you can also feel something else. You can feel the healing touch of the physician of souls, the Christ, with Magdalena the beloved. And you are loved, and you are accepted as I am. And though I fall down many times, and I struggle with my back to get up again, it is the love of my beloved that empowers me to get up and not give in until the last breath of my body has been taken from me. That is my desire, like yours. We want to breathe our last breaths in the arms of the Beloved. So let us be still now. Let us be still. And in the stillness, let us welcome the touch of the cosmic Christ and his beloved Magdalena. And let us allow that touch release all negativity and fear, and sense the heart now. Sense the beat of your heart beating to the rhythm of the heartbeat of God, the Supreme. Feel it. Feel the heartbeat of God pulsating through the hands of the Christ as he touches you. Feel the current of love flow from his hands and the hands of Magdalena, balancing the feminine and masculine energies of God. And with your in-breaths, you are breathing in the very breath of God and the healing touch of the cosmic Christ. Be still and embrace the Beloved, for there is no greater love. There can be no greater love than to stand in the presence of God, for him to place his hands on you and say, "Arise, my child, arise and receive the kingdom of God." Feel his love now, and that is why we're here, to invite, to invoke, and to ask the Christ, come into our life and empower us this now, this moment, to take back our power as a beloved of God the Supreme, and to allow our heart become reawakened to the soul of God within, the gateway to God. And as Gandhi said, to find oneself, we must lose ourselves in the service of others. To find who we truly are. And Jesus said, "Come you whom my Father has blessed, and receive the kingdom prepared for you from the beginning of time. And I have called you my friend, because you do the will of my Father, Mother God, in how you live out your life in service to me." Be still. Be still and know that regardless of our feelings, we embrace that wisdom that we brought to this life from many incarnations. Into this one we have brought the wisdom, not the failings, not the faults. We've brought the wisdom, we've brought the giftings, we've brought the pearls of great price to allow us be healed by the Christ, and to be resurrected at our ascension, and come to our spiritual masters so that they can say to us, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Because you were faithful in few things, I will make you master of many things. Come, take your place at the presence of God." Take your place at the presence of God. Feel the power and love of the cosmic Christ, for He is here, and He calls you again by name. Will you follow Him? Will you follow your heart's desire? Will you follow Him by remaining consistent as the Christ has been with you, through your faults, your failings, your disappointments? Or will you fritter away like Brother Martin de Porres, whose emotional life ruled and dictated to the spiritual life? As Jesus said to St. John, "Greater love than this has no man or woman, that they lay down their life for their friends." For their friends. We are friends of God. Let us now reclaim our divinity as a beloved of God. And let us not end an old year by nurturing old ways. Let us come into this new year with a determination to ascend through prayer, through discipline and fasting, through self-denial, and not losing ourselves in the service of others, but caring for ourselves, respecting the divine within us, and by being happy and living a good life. Namaste. Shalom, inshallah, paxet bonum, om shanti. Solo di caritas, peace. And may the teachings of your masters be a source of great strength to you, especially now, especially on this last day. And tonight, on New Year's Eve, we shall celebrate the old year with blessing. We shall bless the negative, but we shall welcome the new, because New Year's Day in the Christian Church is a special day. It is dedicated to the Mother of God, Queen of the Universe. And if you are free, I would love you to invite me into your home, and together we can do something amazing for God by celebrating who we are. God bless you. Thank you for allowing me into your heart.